Right now, the mainstream media is telling you that Greater Toronto Area housing market is down gentle 4.6% year over year. That single number is a structural trap. So if you're trying to time your next move based on generic regional averages, you are completely misreading the actual What the headlines are hiding is a massive unprecedented fragmentation. Over a 3-year window from absolute market peak of February 2022 to the latest data, certain suburban pockets didn't just experience a minor correction, they quietly stripped off north of $600,000 in raw cash per home. And meanwhile, premium luxury corridors like Oakville and Burlington are moving in completely separate cycles, showing exactly how net worth capital builds a defensive floor. The sweeping market collapse everyone has been waiting isn't coming. Why? Because across 7 massive Ontario cities, it already happened in silence. In this video, we are going straight into the raw Toronto board numbers to break down the massive dollar meltdowns and expose the premium anchors holding the line and show you the exact segment splits to real estate. Now let's get started. To understand where the real purchasing leverage is right now, we have to stop looking at percentages and start tracking the actual dollar volume. This is where percent and real cash home completely fall apart. Take two. Let's look at the cities where the correction didn't just trim the edges but completely repriced the local housing market from top to bottom. Look at Vaughan and Markham. On paper, their corrections look like standard 27 to 29% drops, but they started at such a high luxury baseline that on paper, their corrections look like standard 27 to 29% drops, but because they started at such high baseline, the ordinary percentage represents a massive equity wipeout. A $650,000 cash drop per detached home in Vaughan and $580,000 in Markham. Now shift your eyes to Brampton and Mississauga. Brampton is absolute headline of this cycle because of its sheer breadth. Detached homes plummeted 36%, dropping from $1.61 million down to average of $1.02 million. Detached houses dropped an identical 36% and townhouses followed at 34%. When every single asset class in a city drops in a synchronized band like that, you are looking at complete top to bottom market reset. Mississauga followed a nearly identical trajectory, stripping off around $550,000 of peak market value down to $1.37 million for a detached average. The lesson here is simple. If you were completely priced out of these 4 massive suburban sectors 3 years ago, the corrections have unlocked entry points that simply did not exist during the boom. But the moment you drive across the border into Halton region, the entire crash narrative hits a wall. Let's look at premium anchors, Oakville and Burlington. While outer suburbs saw massive double-digit free falls, Oakville's detached average stands confidently at $1,950,000 with a solid median price of $1.67 million. Why? Because high net worth buyers targeting top tier school districts and premium lakefront estates aren't panic selling. They are protecting their capital, keeping prices firmly anchored. Look at right next door. It continues to act as ultimate crossroads of value, putting a steady stream of buyers who want a premium lifestyle but at a more approachable entry point compared to Oakville. The detached average here sits at just under $1.5 million. Buyers in Burlington have still a lot of meaningful choices with steady active inventory. But the core foundation of this market is remarkably resilient compared to massive dollar drops we saw in Peel and York region. This brings us the ultimate proof that the market has split into pieces, the local segment data. Within the exact same region, the property type you choose changes your buying leverage entirely. Look at Milton. Townhouses completely led the local market correction here, dropping 32% from the peak. Why? Because during growth years, builders stacked up an absolute mountain of high density townhouse developments. Now, when the buying music stopped, that massive wall of supply completely overwhelmed the local demand. Semi-detached and townhouse properties are facing deep supply starvation, rewarding the buyers who can move quickly. But look at Burlington's condo apartment segment. It has 247 active listings on the market. This is far the deepest inventory pool in the city. The takeaway here is massive. If you are shopping for a condo apartment in Burlington, you hold maximum negotiating leverage in 9% year over year. At the same time, the actual sales volume ticked up by 6.3%. This means standing inventory is being steadily absorbed by real families. The massive historic drop of 27 to 36% from 2022 peak are officially behind us. That market is no longer searching for a cliff. Stop letting macro headlines paralyze your decision making. Trying to call the absolute mathematical bottom of a real estate market is a statistical myth. You will only ever see it clearly in your rear view mirror after the prices have already starting to turn up. Because no one knows when the absolute bottom of the market is going to come. So instead of trying to time the global interest rate cycles, focus entirely on three metrics that you can actually control. The first is your household employment secure enough to comfortably service this monthly carrying cost? The second one is, do you maintain a liquid cash buffer after closing, or are you liquidating every emergency dollar just to make the down payment? And third, is your timeline long enough that you can plan to hold and enjoy this property for at least next 5 to 10 years? Because when these three fundamentals align, the minor short-term pricing fluctuations stop mattering over the life cycle of your wealth accumulation. The real question is whether the specific municipal pocket you are targeting has financially corrected into your financial strike zone. My team handles these exact negotiations every single day. In fact, on a recent purchase, we leveraged local inventory stagnation to secure $100,000 of the initial listing price for a client. So if you want to stop guessing based on generic news article, cut through the noise and look at the exact historical data for your target neighborhood. Or you can scan the QR code here to book a direct strategy call with me, and we will help you map out your numbers objectively. So if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and forward this to anyone trying to navigate the Ontario market, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye for now. Or you can